We want to bring in Greg Bovino, the Border Patrol chief, who I just mentioned is on the ground there right now. Greg, welcome to you. Thank you for joining us. Please do share with us what's happening there and describe the situation.
Sure, Sandra. The situation there at the federal building, the Whipple building, quite active protests out front at the building, and there have been some recent arrests made. Some of those protesters and rioters, they want to block the road, make it difficult for federal law enforcement to do its job. So they're being pushed out of the road, and if they don't move, they're being arrested.
Hey, Greg, it's John here. We know that it's been an awfully busy couple of weeks for you there in Minneapolis. We see the resist flag in the footage that we were looking at, although our camera has just gone down. Don't know why. It could simply be a battery, and we'll probably be back up again. But that's echoing the words of the governor of Minnesota last night, who said that people should go out and resist ICE. They should take their cameras out with them and film everything that they're doing. This idea, though, of holding protests right in front of the federal building, right where ICE is, the confrontation between the protesters and ICE, is in your mind, is that the way the people should be protesting ICE's presence, or should they have an area where protesters make their voices heard but avoid direct confrontation?
Sure. No one wants direct confrontation, John. We respect the First Amendment rights of anyone to air their grievances. We just ask those grievances to be aired civilly and not with violence. And that's where it seems a lot of these individuals cross the line, whether they're at the Whipple Federal Building or otherwise, is because they're encouraged, and we've said this many times, Sandra and John, they're encouraged to step over that line and, as you say, resist. And that is far and apart from exercising a First Amendment right to freedom of speech, freedom of assembly.
Hey, Greg, could you confirm whether or not tear gas or otherwise was deployed a few moments ago while we were watching that live?
Sandra, it didn't. I was there as they made the arrest. It didn't look like a lot of that there was any tear gas deployed. There may have been some smoke deployed, but there was an arrest made, and it looked like a textbook precision arrest of a targeted individual that was causing specific problems and had been causing problems over a period of time.
Gotcha. So we're watching what happened just a few moments ago. So that was an arrest that was made of a single individual?
Sandra, yes. Specific individual. Oftentimes these individuals will try to obstruct our ability to ingress and egress out of that facility. And as you know, that presents a problem for the good conduct of operations. It's unsafe for the civilian crowd there that is protesting, unsafe for agents, unsafe for our detainees. So for us to make that a safe area, it's kind of common sense. Don't stand in the road. I think we learned that all when we were very small children. It's not a good idea to stand in the middle of the road.
Yeah, and clearly the protesters at this point are trying to inhibit transit in and out of the Whipple Building federal facility there. And it appeared a short time ago when the officers moved forward to clear the crowd off the street that they were trying to let some vehicles come in and out of that facility. But that's part of the protest strategy, is to try to stop the federal government from conducting its business. This is all designed, all of these protests, the calls for protest from the governor, from the mayor, to try to get ICE to say, you know what, this isn't worth it, we're packing up and leaving. That does not appear like it's about to happen. In fact, the Department of Homeland Security is doubling down here, and they've had to put all of these extra officers on the line because, again, to the point that we were making earlier with Nicole Parker, there is no backup from the local law enforcement. So it only looks like what the politicians in Minnesota and Minneapolis are doing is encouraging the federal government to flood more resources to Minneapolis. Is that correct?
John, exactly. Let's take a look at some of the other areas we've operated. Take a look at Illinois and the Broadview Federal Facility. We saw some of the same tactics used by some of these rioters and agitators and protesters. But even in Illinois, under Governor Protester, and he's definitely no friend, they still allowed state and locals to come in and work with the federal government to make that Broadview facility safer. That's all we ask here at the Whipple facility here in Minnesota is we want safe ingress, egress so we can continue to conduct these Title VIII immigration operations. And anytime we can work with the state and local, as we did in Louisiana, somewhat in Illinois, and North Carolina and other places, that's always a success for all of us.
Greg, we were just discussing with Paul Morrow a short time ago the time of day, middle of the day. It's a work day. Clearly, it's Thursday. Who are these people protesting?
Sandra, great question. We do know that some of these individuals do come from out of state, and some of these individuals come to protest, and we are definitely looking at, how they're protesting. Are they being paid? What are the groups that are assisting, aiding, and abetting these rioters?
I think maybe we lost you there, Greg. Okay. Well, he is there, John. So we were happy we were able to get him as long as we did by phone, as he obviously has his eyes directly on the situation there. This was moments ago, as we don't have that live shot up right now. But this is a big question. Who are these people? How are they gathering? Why are they there? Something we continue to learn as these protests continue.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.